Very happy to be joined by Browns general manager John Dorsey, and just wanted to say, here we are 10 games into this season.
Yep.
How do you think everything's going?
Well, I think it's one of the first times in my, years of football that we've had a bye week this late into the season. But you know what? It's good. The player performance staff has done such a remarkable job this season in minimizing, the players and helping them in terms of recuperate after each game. It's a good way to go into a bye week with a win. There's a lot to build off of, and the one thing I always want to stress from a football standpoint is we got a lot of football left. We have 6 games left to do some things here to establish some wins moving forward. So winning is tantamount to any season, and we're going to continue to strive for wins week in and week out.
When you make a guy the #1 overall pick, the expectations are high. He seems to certainly be living up to those. What's your evaluation of what you've seen from Baker so far?
He's got a lot of football left. I mean, very rarely does a rookie step in here and master the quarterback position. Nowhere in the NFL have you really seen that. He's played well, but you know what? He's got a lot of football left. He's got a lot to learn. He's got a lot to master this season. 1 or 2 games don't make a season, but as long as you see continual development week in and week out, that's what you build off of.
You've seen a lot of great quarterback play in your tenure in the National Football League. When you see him go out there, 17 of 20, he has as many incompletions as he does touchdown passes. That's got to give you a good feeling about what he's been able to accomplish.
No, what makes me excited is to watch kids have fun, win a football game, and believe in the process. That's what makes me excited, because at the end of the day, it's about winning. And, we played a good team last week, and they're pretty good. And, now you got to build off of that. They get a week to kind of, have a little space in there, but then they have to focus on the task at hand, which is the Cincinnati Bengals.
The early returns on a lot of these guys that are rookies have been very, very positive. What can you tell our fans about guys that you've drafted that really haven't seen the field much, Austin Corbett and Chad Thomas?
I think those guys are going to be really good football players. And, with regards to Austin Corbett, he's got 3 guys that are really good football players in front of him. When it comes time for him to seize the moment, he'll seize it, when it is. Likewise with Chad Thomas. He's got a lot of good football players in front of him. He'll see the field eventually, and then people will begin to see what those 2 guys can do, because I really think those guys are good football players.
Now, we've talked about kind of the boxes that have been checked over these first 10 weeks. What are the areas that you want to see improve here over these final 6 games?
Well, I'll be very blunt here. I've seen development in special teams. I want to see more development from the overall special teams. I think in the last 2 weeks, I think from a schematic standpoint, I think Freddie's done a nice job of reducing the number of sacks that the quarterback has had, and I think that's important to do. I just want to see continued development. I want to see guys coach, the coaches developing young guys, and I want to see the emphasis on, we have 6 games left here. Let's establish a winning pattern here. That's what all I ask for.
The Browns have an opportunity to do something very special when they return from the bye, and that is put together their first winning streak in many years and get their first road victory in many years. How important is it for you to see these guys have this time off, recharge, come back focused, and go handle their business in Cincinnati?
Well, it's always good to recharge, but then you have to be focused at the task at hand when you get into game week preparation. And I think last week they actually understood that, all this hard work, this effort, this plan, does pay off. And now what you got to see is collectively as a group, are they forging forward with the same mindset and the same goals to end this season out strong?
All right, so you joined this organization roughly about a year ago, give or take a couple of weeks. You were here for the final 4 games of last year. Now, obviously, there was a big change in the middle of this season. Gregg Williams, now your head coach. Freddie Kitchens, now your offensive coordinator. Kind of what led you to that decision point, and how comfortable are you with what you've seen in 2 weeks with your new staff?
Well, first, I think regarding the last 2 weeks, I think Gregg's done a really nice job. And he's done a really nice job of keeping the team focused on the sole task of winning. And I think that's really important. I think Freddie Kitchens has done a really nice job in terms of creating a game plan and executing it on game day. So all in all, I think the team has they've kind of come together here a little bit these last 2 weeks. But all in all, I think those three guys have done a really nice job.
And I'm sure you have talked to these guys, but if you could say anything to the players over these final 6 games about showing you and showing this organization how important it is to them to be Cleveland Browns, what would you say?
It's not about showing me. It's about showing the Cleveland Browns and the community of Cleveland that, you know what, be proud to be a Cleveland Browns, because this thing is getting ready to get started.